Welcome to Board Game Archaeology, where we play time-worn games from the past. I'm Hunter.
I'm Rob.
And today, we're playing King of Tokyo.
King of Tokyo, originally created in 2011 by Richard Garfield. This game is for 2 to 6 players, 8 years old and up, and usually lasts around 30 minutes, but we burn through games in 10 minutes when you have to. This version came out a little bit later. I think it's 2016, 2017, and there's also some supplements to the game.
Yeah, the goal of the game is to be the King of Tokyo by earning the most points or killing your opponents.
Yep, and the game comes with, as you can see, a lot of fun stuff. You have 6 different monsters to choose from. They all have their own card. On the top of the card, you have your power. On the bottom, you have your energy. On the bottom of the card, you have your power or health. You also have 6 dice that you use regularly, 2 special dice. We'll get to that. Some clear green things that we call energy, some tokens, and 66 cards. Fun little game board. That's really all your game board, and you're only using part of it depending upon how many people you're using, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, the way that you start is that you go around and you'll roll these 6 dice to see who has the most claw marks. And by claw marks, I mean that each die has a 1, 2, 3, a heart, a claw, and an energy on it. And that's kind of how it starts off. Once you figure out who goes first, then you kind of take all 6 of these guys, and then you'll roll it. And kind of like Yahtzee, you're going to look over it, and you want to get 3 of the kinds of the numbers. Because 3 ones will get you a 1. Any additional ones will be an additional point. That's similar with 2s and 3s, where if you get 3 2s, that's 2 points. Any additional 2s are an additional point. 3, 3, any additional makes 4.
Yep, and then if you get the energy, you get to collect energy. And this energy is really important for you to buy these cards. And these cards all have special powers. And there's a lot of randomness to the cards because there's not very many duplicates, if any, in that deck. You also have a heart, and you also have, where'd it get? The claw, like we did when we joined up. The claw is your battling. That's your fight. If you get a claw, the other person gets hit. If you get the heart, if you're not on the board, you can heal up with the heart. So you're really rolling all the time, and it always affects what you're doing, and it is a lot like Yahtzee.
Yeah, because then if let's say that I wanted to focus on getting points and maybe energy, I would put aside these energy pieces and roll this 2 and a 3, because they're not going to be any help to me if I can't get an additional 1. So right here, it's already not looking great, because that was my second roll. That didn't help me. And if I was to do it again, the most I can do, and since it's the first round, if it's the first round, there is no person in or person out, so the damage isn't going to be applicable.
Right.
But usually when the first person who does get immediately gets to move into the city, which would get you a victory point and 2 additional ones for every time your round comes up again.
You start in it. And another thing is when you're in there, you can't heal. So as you're getting beat up in there, because remember, when you're in here, you're fighting everybody on the outside. When you're on the outside, you're fighting everybody on the inside. So it's important to be in here if you're going for point structure. But if you're hurting, you need to get out to heal. And sometimes you just don't get hit enough to get out. So you just die in there.
Yeah, it can be a very risk-reward system in the game. I'm actually kind of surprised because what we've been talking about, it's a relatively simple system. The cards definitely shake it up because I'm very impressed with the cards. There's 66 of them, and to my knowledge, only about 2 or 3 of the status things are duplicated, which leaves a lot of original artwork. The cool thing about them, though, which I don't know what your odds are, because these are 4 out of 66. I'm not a math person. But there's 4 kind of special attributes that you can do. There's the Mimic card, and what will happen with the Mimic card is that you get that token. If there's anyone who has a Keep card that's in their possession, I can put my thing on that, and I functionally have that. I can spend a energy point to move that to a different one next round. Smoke Cloud is when I get 3 of those tokens, and every time my round comes around, if I want to re-roll, so typically you can only roll 3 times. With the Smoke Cloud, I can go, I don't like how that third roll turned out. I'm going to use one of my tokens to do it again because I didn't like this part of it or something, and that wouldn't have helped me either. But that's what the smoke cloud does. You got the poison and the shrink ray. The shrink ray and the poison work very similarly because it's sort of an attribute on a hit. So if I roll a claw mark, if I get a claw mark up here, and we're in a state where people can get hit, the shrink ray, if I hit them, you will then use only 5 dice instead of 6. And if you get the poison, every time your thing is over, he'll take 1 damage.
And really, it happens fast. The cards are an important part to it, but we played it a number of times and the cards really didn't get much into play. You'd use maybe 1 or 2 cards if you were lucky because things are moving really quickly in this game. This is a great game for lunch. We were able to pop this game out in 10 or 15 minutes with like 5 of us at lunch one day. It's really fun, and yeah, it's a lot like Yahtzee. I feel like that every time I play it. I'm looking for the three of a kind and then the extra extra, or if I need energy because there's some nice card out here. And remember, if you grab one of those three, because it starts with 3, and you always have to refresh it. You can also get rid of these energy cards by paying 2 of your energy, wipe them all out, put 3 new ones on. I would only do that if I had like a stack of energy. Say I had 8 energy and nothing here was attractive. I would spend 2, wipe these 3 out, put 3 more, and then hopefully get to buy something very useful for it. But it's a fast-paced game, super simple to learn. I mean, honestly, by the time the second person is rolling the dice, I think everybody around the table's got fairly a good understanding of it. So that's the one thing I really like is when you pick up a boxed game like this, and it just simply is easy to play. Even the instructions, it's very, very short, and the instructions to the game are 3 beautifully illustrated pages, making it super, super, super easy to learn.
Even with one of those examples of like, here's like a full round and gives you kind of an example of how things go. Because it can look a little bit daunting at first, but once you kind of get into the flow of it, it's a really fun, like we've played a lot of simple games that have like relatively simple mechanics and few moving parts. And this does a lot with the parts it has.
It really does. You could change any of these to anything. In fact, there's different versions of this game out. But all of these have the same point system. It's not like you pick one because they're stronger or weaker. It really all depends upon the dice. The dice are going to dictate how much energy you get, what you can buy, if you get something special, if you get it, on or off. If you're playing only up to 4 players, you're only using Tokyo City there. If you're playing 5 to 6 players, you actually have 2 in the board, and you're always kind of forced to move in there if you're out. So there's a lot of fun to it without a lot of hassle.
Yeah, and with the cards, because we can only go into the cards so much. If we were to go through all of the cards, we would be here for quite a while. Because, as I mentioned before, there's not many duplicates. These are all doing, even if it's minor things like, oh, here's like a quick heal, or here's some quick victory points. That's only a few of the total cards. There's a lot of creativity in the things that you can do with the cards, and that's the only thing with these short rounds. If you don't get those 3 that you really like, it might not be that you'll see a different set of 3 in that round.
Right, right. Yeah, fun game. I know I picked it up because it's giant monsters, of course. The McIntyre Library at our university has a big game selection, and I was down there and I'm going, okay, what do I want to learn this week? And of course, giant monsters just screams to me, as you can tell. So I instantly grabbed it, and that's another part of it that I really do like, is I love the artwork to it. It's basically, if you're a giant monster kaiju fan, you're going to get to pick something that you like. And again, you can get Cthulhu. There's special packs that you can buy that get you more legendary monsters like Cthulhu, or maybe kind of more like a King Kong than that cat was. And there's also versions of it. But I love the artwork. It's really well done. It would be fun to see the first version of it to see how it advanced maybe in the artwork, or was this the original art? I don't know. This is the only version of it so far I've got to see and play. But I get intimidated by anytime I pick up a box, a game, because I'm always worried they're going to be really hard to play. Like the instructions are going to be a book, and then I have to go watch videos on YouTube. And I do. I mean, we do. I'm always watching different videos to make sure that we're following the rules and stuff. And there's a lot of good videos out there that are playthroughs, and I think those are your best bet. But fun, easy, great artwork.
Yeah, there's a lot to love in it, and there's a lot of modularity. That you know, if you wanted to make your own characters or things like that, very easy and very straightforward. So you got to appreciate stuff like that.
I'm already trying to figure out how to make these round things so I can get a hodag one on this board.
Yep, you'll be seeing more of this if we add some slee stacks and hodags and who knows what.
That's right.
But thanks for watching.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about us, check us out at toyarchaeology.com. You can also find us on Facebook, but don't forget to subscribe to us and like us on YouTube and click the little bell. I think it chimes when we put episodes out. And now that it's getting winter up here in Wisconsin, you can expect more episodes because we get in the house more and we're playing a lot more games.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.